We are live with another TTS Season 12 Week 5 game. Today we have HyperNova versus Raine. HyperNova is playing a Spider Foes list. He's also brought Doctor Strange, Black Cat, and Logan and Rocket Raccoon with him in the Spider Foes team. And playing against him is Raine and his Criminal Syndicate. He's brought Luke Cage, Red Skull, and Beta Ray Bill. This isn't a Lucas stream if one of Beta Ray Bill or Crimson Dynamo are not in either list or are not somewhere in the game. So we're continuing the streak here. The streak is alive. So both players are 4-0, and winner here is automatically in top cut. With me today is my teammate from last weekend's event where we both went undefeated. I'm here with Mark. How's it going, man?
Going smooth over here, Lucas. Super excited for this one. These are two faction specialists, absolute titans. Quick introduction on me, Mark Tanaguzzo from Toronto, Ontario, currently residing in Hamilton. As Lucas said, we've had some experience playing with each other and nothing playing against each other in the competitive field, but this is going to be an absolute scorcher of a game. What do we got here? We got Cubes and Riot Sparks. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so Mark, you're here. I asked you to join the stream because you are a Criminal Syndicate. You have lots of experience with the team. That's the team you brought on the weekend. And I still think it's really funny how the first two games you played, you made a total of 4 attacks. It's a classic Criminal Syndicate.
Classic criminals, classic kingpin criminals. That's how I roll, more or less. Now, Raine, ladies and gentlemen, Raine is a prime example of why a Longshanks rating can mean absolutely nothing. Because if you look at top criminals players, you will not see Raine. But I can assure you, this man is the people's crime lord. He is a tremendous player. After playing him last season, not in the tournament, but pickup and in Richmond's Champions, I figured he would take this thing. I
I'm
really thought I was
offended.
really so impressed. You can be offended, but let me tell you, the affinity I have for criminals and just the strength of his play. He made it all the way to the semis. HyperNova, Suck Lord here. That's a great name. I just noticed that. Suck Lord, I believe made a cut as well.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and check, but he's been repping the Spider Foes this whole season, and he had a really crazy game on my last stream. I think that was week 4, where he pulled it out. So yeah, they're both undefeated players, and so yeah, interesting to see. They did roll priority before the stream started with the Spider Foes Hypernova winning priority here. So I didn't see which one each selected. Red selected Extract. So that's interesting. That's interesting because before the stream started, he was telling me how like if he gets Madmen, he would be happy, but he ended up choosing Extracts. So he liked Raine. He liked his own extracts better than what Raine was trying to set up. So we have now Raine's picked the deployment edge for his team, and the tokens are deployed. So we're gonna get a what is this? Is this 17 regardless? It is. So 17 threat team on either side.
Just doing a quick board analysis here. We got Raine set up some size 2 barrels right beside one of the flanks, which will be nice for some cover. When that fire from probably Green Goblin possibly will be coming in. He also knows that HyperNova, aka Sucklord, has Black Cat. Might be concerned about Black Cat diving his cube, and therefore he's got a chemical truck size 4, making sure Black can't do that too easily, although maybe she can get in via the side. But Lucas, you are a Spider Foes player. You're looking at these extracts, you're looking at the secures. What are you thinking come time to play those spicy tactics cards?
I'm not that. I've only played a few games with Spider Foes, so definitely like you've got more experience with these rosters than I probably do. But like I think that I think that if we got superpowered scoundrels as the secure, I would be a lot more nervous for Hypernova. Hypernova did tell me that he doesn't have that many games into Criminal Syndicate. There's no one that really plays them in his local meta. So he's really kind of playing off instinct here. He just has to remember The key will be to remember what the Kingpin leadership does, both on the secure and the extract, because with the power from the cubes, it's going to mean that the Criminal Syndicate player can pass them that much easier.
Yeah, super strong ability. I leverage it every chance I get. Especially with cubes, you pile the cubes on Kingpin, you park them in the back. You use the damage reduction to get a power, maybe take a damage here or there, but just keep peeling power off to remove those potential wounds from the cubes. Really powerful. So that is a threat. Now, I've never seen HyperNova play. I didn't see your last stream. I've never played against him. So I'm not sure if he's always going with those tried, true, and tested Spider Foes tactics cards. Sinister Traps, and the other one escaped me at the moment. Just looking that up.
So, are you referring to well laid plans?
Yes, well laid plans. Well laid plans. Sinister Traps. Two cards that can really trip you up. So he's gonna, if he takes them, he's gonna look to drop that Sinister Traps probably on one of those back cubes. He has priority. He's gonna dive probably that center one. It would be a wise move. So he's gonna look to go up on extracts. Raine's got Rhino. He's a fantastic Rhino player. We're going to wonder if we see some Rhino on Rhino action here.
Yeah, he's affiliated in both teams. Another
Yeah.
interesting aspect of the matchup here is that they're both. One of them is from Canada. That's Raine, and HyperNova is from the USA. And so there's a little bit of a Canada versus USA action going on here. We're both from Ontario, Canada, same as Raine. So you might notice. I don't know if there will be bias in the commentary, but we don't know Raine personally. He's from I think he's from the northern part of Ontario, where we're both on the southern side, so we haven't met him in person. But there's going to be a little bit of Canada versus USA action going on tonight.
And Lucas, the commentary will be impartial at all times. We are professionals here. There will be strict impartiality right down the middle at all times. Raine is from Sudbury, Ontario. I've been chatting with him as a fellow Crimson player. Really nice guys. Fantastic to chat with him, especially on his rise to the top and hitting that semifinals last season.
Yeah, semifinals, and he also eliminated Joe, who was the previous season's champion. So he had quite the run last season, and he's just one game away from uh, back-to-back top cuts, which is of course impressive. Not very many players do that, so he's very close. I mean, if either player loses, I mean, one player is going to lose this match, of course, and they're still in the running too. Like both players here have 2 games to win one match. So let's see who gets to go 5-0 in 5 weeks. And I was lucky enough to do that in season 10, and it felt great. The 6th week, and of course you want to win that 6th game to go 6-0, but really it doesn't matter too much. So it's just like a breath of fresh, like just you can breathe a sigh of relief if you win this match here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely huge match. Now, looking at these crisis, we just talked about the cubes, how that's quite advantageous for Kingpin. I mean, Spider Foes, they have the characters to get around that. They have the lizard that's going to help mitigate that cube damage, but really going to be really tough for the foes to keep chipping away at Crimson when you have those extremist consoles sitting around, allowing you to interact with them, spend a power, and heal a damage. Some characters can start bouncing in between two, and it can really mitigate that damage. And so it will be a challenge for the foes. They're really going to need to lean in to some of the scenario play in addition to their attrition and chip damage.
Yeah, that's a really good point. They're already tough, and so you're giving them healing factor in a way on these secures. Yeah, so it just makes it chewing through those characters with high health pools and damage reduction. Just oh man, it makes it a real challenge.
Yeah, it really will be an uphill battle, but spikes happen, smart plays happen. I've had some personal experience going into foes and rolling for that sinister traps, seeing my opponent roll 5 wild with mix of wilds and crits, and watching a black hat go down first activation round 1. These things happen.
I remember actually. I think I was at that event, right? I was,
You were, yeah. Would have
yeah,
been the
yeah. That
event
was
I
the one
was
where we
at.
both went 1 and 2, I believe, right?
Yep.
Wasn't yeah, yeah. Okay, that's.
4-0. Four. We were both 4-0.
Oh
Well,
yeah, yeah.
one
But I
first
won.
place
But I
game,
but I
second place
won.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. And look, Matt's in the chat right now. That's who you were playing. So it's there you go.
Matt, shout out to Matt. Tremendous foes player. Tremendous models on Matt. Absolutely tremendous foes models.
Yeah, painted models. Well painted models roll better. It's a known fact. All right, so they are taking a little bit of time here. There's lots of turn zero thinking going on. Oh, look at that. Raine puts the token to 16, signifying something. I've had a couple games on the stream, or a couple games recently, or on the stream, or I've that have gone 16-16 recently for me. So it's man, some games can go right down to the wire. Let's see. Let's like the opening here will be pretty big. Criminal Syndicate could end up with like a 3 secure. Um, I don't know. Let's see here. 3 secures here. If they steal a back extract, they're going up. They could end up with like 6 points if everything plays out basically the way Rain would hope it to. He could be at a what would that be? That'd be a 6-3 advantage. He'd have to steal a cube from Nova's back line, and then he would take the 3 secures, the both midlight secures with that kingpin power he's got. So yeah, I let's see what Nova does if he puts down a play to grab that middle cube, or I guess we'll have to see when they pick their models. But they are taking quite a while on their squad selection.
Yeah, this is Kingpin always creates just an absolute conundrum for an opponent when the game is on, and so it's no surprise that it's going to take some time to figure this one out. Yeah, in looking at it from a Crimson perspective, you're looking to just dive bomb a character in a nice place on one of those secures, a place where your opponent can't easily fit 2 models on. And if you're HyperNova, you're thinking, am I going to commit to one of the flanks, try to get some models on there, maybe 3 models if he's going very wide, and maybe pick up one of those flanks in addition to his home? That would be a really strong play. Foes do have some good action, a little bit of action economy, some opportunities for a shoot and run. If he does decide to load a flank, that opportunity is there. But this is going to come down to whether or not HyperNova can hang on to those 3 extracts. It will be difficult. I don't remember his roster, whether or not he has a midline safe grab. I know he had Sorcerer Supreme, but no, he only gets 1 power, so there's no ice opportunities from what I saw.
Yeah, I didn't even see if the card was in his list, so it'll be interesting. I think he might be relying on the Rhino and well laid plans and sinister traps kind of to set up a situation that he would hope that it ends up in his favor, like by round 2 or by round 3.
Yeah, I mean, those cards are just tremendous. Well laid plans when it pops off. I've, really thought about the fact that you could take eyes on one of those well laid plans turns and just have that range 2 to start scooping things you couldn't normally grab. I think it's a rather unconventional play. It is hard to fit that card in when foes have so many good cards, but that well laid plans, it really has to be well laid, or else you're just popping your opponent's extracts with no good plan to retrieve them. So he is a super experienced player, and here's hoping we see an absolute masterclass here on well laid plans.
Yeah, the tricky part, the part that makes me nervous is that there are a lot of criminal syndicate characters that can reduce damage, and you need to do damage on the card in order to drop the extract. So you like in some situations you'll need to roll 2 crits or wilds on 5 dice, and that obviously is much harder to do than just one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know that foes have Lizard. Lizard is one of the kings of the F-shape extract grab on your opponent's side. Just firing Lizard down the gut grabbing that extract, knowing that he could survive. Just got to make sure that Rhino's not on the other side, who could pop off some easy gores, maybe get that power to achieve the robbery. But it is such a good play with Lizard. It really can stump your opponent.
Yeah. I think they're hopefully they're almost ready. Look, based on their hand movements, it looks like Raine is ready. Here we go. They've
Oh,
activated.
we're
We've
off.
got
We're off.
so Nova with the spider foes. He's dropping Goblin, Lizard, Mysterio with Strange and Rocket as his splash characters. He's running Sinister Traps, Grand Illusion, Mission Objective, Brace for Impact, and Eyes on the Prize. On the other
Wow,
side,
that foes team. That
we
foes team is interesting.
we have Kingpin, Rhino, Daredevil, Shadowlands Daredevil, Bullseye, and we've got a splash of Luke Cage. We've got Patch Up, This is a Robbery, Brace for Impact, Mission Objective, and Heroes for Hire. So very interesting here. We don't have a Beta Ray Bill, so like is the streak over? But we looks like we have an immediate setup for Doctor Strange in the middle of the board. I'm thinking we're going to see an Eyes on the Prize play as an opening move for Nova. That's what he's telegraphing here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Forgetting that was a possibility for Strange.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what do you think of these teams?
the posing of Ashanti. Yep.
I think that it's interesting. Like Mysterio is an interesting pick on a D shape. He's basically well, he will be unable to rotate on the board because of how slow he is.
Yeah.
Typically, like that's what we're going to see. So, like that's my first thought on the Nova team. What are your thoughts on either roster?
Well, right away, standing out to me is Raine went with Shadowland Daredevil, and that is one of the most brilliant characters to take into foes because as soon as the Sinister Trap token gets put on the board, did he take it? Did he take it? Yes, he
Yes.
did. So as soon as that Sinister Trap goes down, what's Rain going to do? He is going to march those ninjas to that trap. Take that token out of the game. Take the damage on the useless ninjas. Ninjas disappear. It really is a strong counter using grunts in that way, especially the useless grunts, which are the ninjas. Although the ninjas, they do have some play in picking up one of these cubes, helping Rhino build power, making sure you can get that 3 power into round 2. That is a play, but personally, I would go with Shadowland Daredevil and the ninjas in order to pop that trap.
Yeah, that's a good point. So one thing about this though is that the trap could go on basically there's probably five options here. You could either choose any of the three secures that are on Rain side or on the mid, or you could pick one of his back cubes. Those are probably one of those options. The ninjas, if they were deployed dead center on Rain side and there was no terrain in the way, they could reach any of those 5 points with a double move. But in this
Yes.
case, we have a chemical truck, and we've got a dumpster that's right in dead center where the ninjas would like to have been. So I think that um, I might consider hitting that extremist console on the other side of the truck if you're looking to hit a secure. But any other piece, it looks like the ninjas can do exactly what you said, which is like basically um, blow up the Sinister Trap, making it basically useless. You traded a grunt that will respawn anyway for a tactic card.
Absolutely. But and more to your point, he gets to put that trap down after Rain is deployed everywhere. So there, to your point about that chemical truck, that would disrupt it. That's actually an excellent call out, Lucas.
Okay, so we're seeing Rocket and Goblin on the mid flank positions, or just outside of the middle of the center of the board. So Goblin is lined up against Rain's Kingpin, and Rocket is lined up against Bullseye. It's interesting that I think that Bullseye is a great counter to Rocket's positioning here because Rocket's big defensive tech is cover, and Bullseye does ignore that. He can also, if Rocket shoots into Bullseye, no matter what happens, as long as Bullseye lives, he can hit Rocket for one, which normally isn't a big deal, but Rocket has such a low health pool that those hits for one take out a third of his health every single time he does it. So I think it's a great counter deployment for Raine in that situation. Kingpin and Goblin, I don't know, there's nothing much to say. Goblin doesn't have any displacement, so Kingpin really can just waddle his way up to the middle extremis and probably like just win the secure there and he's tanky enough to probably survive. So seems like a pretty good start to Raine's deployment against HyperNova.
Yeah, that's great analysis here. Um, really interesting. There's no Rhino on HyperNova side. It is such a powerful tool to counter it, but I mean he knows what he's doing. He's going to have a plan coming into this. He's going to have that extract advantage. The Mysterio point that you made, you're absolutely right. He's going to need to commit to one of the sides. He's probably going to have Rocket chilling at the back. And
I gotta join their chat real quick. So the stream won't be able to hear you until I return. So just hang tight. Hey guys, what's going on?
Yo, quick question.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to put down a movement tool in deployment?
Okay, so the way this works is that a model is either deployed or not deployed. You can use your tools as normal, but you can't once you've put a model down, they're locked to that position. So you can then, like for example, if you put a tool on Strange right now, like you can do that. That's fine. You can put a tool on Strange. He's locked in there, but you can't put a tool down on a character and then adjust them afterwards. Uh,
Gotcha. But I could just take this tool and put it here and be okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine like that. You're following the rules of the game, so you are allowed to do that. You can't snap it to the model until you finalize your position on deployment.
Gotcha. No worries. Thank you, sir. That was it.
Yeah. All right. So they just had a question about like what tools they can use during deployment, but they figured it out, and looks like they're moving along. He wants to make sure he can basically deploy Mysterio. Um, and you can use your tools. My understanding of the rule, and this is what I told them, was that you can use the tools as normal, as you normally would. The key thing you can't do is use a tool, use the base of a model to measure, to use it in measuring when you are still deciding where they go. You can measure a character's you can measure off of a character's base when their deployment is confirmed, but you can't measure off their base and then change their position again because that would be using a character's model, like a model of a character, to in your measuring, which is not allowed. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to. It's hard to explain this, but I hope you know what I'm trying to get across here. That it's really it's binary here. You either are deployed or you're not, and you can't measure off something that is not technically finalized in deployment.
yeah, absolutely. It would be considered a proxy base, and yeah, I
Yeah,
fully
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Rhino not on the Goblins team. He opted to go with 2-threat Rocket and 4-threat Strange instead of something like a Rhino and a 3.
fascinating.
So yeah, let's see. I think that if I'm in Hypernova's mind here, I'm thinking that the Mystic attacks on Strange might be powerful enough to flip Rhino before he can steal and run away. That's something I might think about. He also has Doctor Strange has other synergies with the foes as well. If we see lots of power on the foe side, um, what that means is that Goblin and Rocket will have their tricks available to them as well as Mysterio, and Doctor Strange can basically teleport the criminal characters into those traps that the Spider Foes team is setting up with their superpowers. So it's tricky and it does require a power intensive superpowers. Typically they're pretty expensive, but that is a synergy that they can use if they have lots of power on them.
Yeah, so in that way, we could see Doctor Strange shift to Mysterio's flank. As you called out, he's looking to put the ninjas as central as possible. I'm looking at Rhino, and I'm thinking, if Lizard does that dive bomb play two Raine side cube. That is a size 4. Rhino won't have line of sight, so there's not that turn 1 danger. Turn 2, the danger would be on, but there's a primo opportunity there. I'm sure Raine sees it. I'm sure Raine's going to look to get that near cube because he knows he's going to go down 2 to 3 on extracts, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, I would even consider let's see where Daredevil goes, but man, I might consider just diving Lizard first, and grabbing that piece if Rain doesn't set up anything like, yeah, I might consider doing that. What do you think? What would you think about that play? It looks like look now that he's deployed all his bottles, like I mean, I might even do that with Lizard.
I think you just picked up on it, Lucas. I think you're absolutely correct. He has not deployed something that's going to be able to get that central cube. Here comes the Sinister Traps, and it is going on Kingpin's flank. That's a good drop.
Yeah, I like that. He's clearly deployed on light on the southern side. HyperNova has, which is where he deployed the trap. So it looks like he's like you just can see the direction his team is gonna flow like water. He's just gonna his team is slowly gonna rotate to the right. And I think that yeah, that's it's. I think this opening play here is definitely that lizard grab, um, and he punishes whatever character goes and grabs the middle one. Is oh here we go. He's opting with the pretty standard option here of grabbing the middle cube. It it does mean that we're probably going to see Luke Cage or Bullseye grabbing that one on Lizard's side. But he will. So we are likely still going to see a 3-2 extract advantage for Nova. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, pretty straightforward pick here.
And having played Rain, whatever advantage Hypernova might pick up, I can guarantee you that his in-game play, his decision-making throughout the game is absolutely tremendous. He can turn things around where you just did not expect that he's that strong of a player. Luke Cage in Crim, really love the choice. He showed me the way in the games I played against him. I tried it myself. I do really like Cage and Crimson. I favor Lizard a little bit more. Don't have that bodyguard mechanic, but Lizard is also a tank. Can move a little bit faster. But the Cage play, it can just be so strong. You could think that you have him, even though you know that Heroes for Hire is coming, and it can really stump your plans.
Yeah.
And further to your point, we got Lizard, we got Mysterio ganging up on one side. It could turn out that he ties that, and that's not bad for Hypernova to tie that flank if Cage is heading that way.
Yeah, let's see if he grabs a second cube. I think that's pretty dangerous, but it does mean that Rhino has less targets to pick up on. I mean, you're taking 2 damage a turn with Strange. You're on a clock, a pretty quick clock at that point. It would make me nervous to see him pick that up. So let's see if he goes for it. The one thing, yeah, I do like Lizard because he has that throw superpower, so you can consistently get that, especially if you've got a cube, and then all of a sudden you're getting 2 power a turn. You can just even more consistently get that throw online. So I like Lizard versus Luke Cage here. Luke Cage only has the displacement on the spender and on the card. And I think Lizard has a displacement on the his spender as well, right? He has the no, he doesn't. Just on the superpower, but it's consistent enough and it's relatively cheap enough that yeah, they're I don't know. Maybe they're probably just gonna like pillow fist, like barely like tickle each other basically with that damage reduction. And oh yeah, Lizard has the push, the size 3 push on his builder, so that's another way for Lizard to disrupt Luke Cage. I mean, he could hit him twice and get 2 small pushes on Luke Cage, which would not make him very happy. So, like predicted, I mean, it was definitely the right move here to grab the cube that Lizard could potentially grab relatively safely away from Rhino. So I think Raine's identified that.
Yeah, and I think the play that you called out would have been a tremendous play. I think the Lizard dive bomb and then have Strange pick up the middle, because as we see, there was no good options there for HyperNova, or rather for Raine, to get the center extract. You don't want to pick it up with Rhino necessarily, and the ninjas couldn't do it safely. So it could have been a strong play, but again, I think HyperNova is a plan. He's got to play cagey. He's got to play super careful.
Yeah. So let's see. We have all right. So Bullseye's grabbed the cube and he's gone back to the to his home extremist console. So I mean, this is a win for Bullseye, right? If he can score 2 points around, that's exactly what you want out of a two threat character. He's making that's good. That's good. That's easy money for the Criminal Syndicate player.
Absolutely, and he has that option. If the ninjas aren't going to the trap, if Raine just accepts that he's going to take some trap damage with Daredevil, Shadowland Daredevil, or Kingpin, then he can use those ninjas to just sit there and maybe have Bullseye pass it in the near future. But it looks like he's angling to shift the ninjas to the other flank. I'm not sure that he gets there.
Oh,
I'm
so I
not
think
certain
he
he will.
will because it's a range 2 explosion rather than a range
Ah,
1, right? I think he might just be out of range 1 based on that placement from what my measuring experience, but the Sinister Trap goes off on range 2, so he'll have more than enough room here to blow it up.
yeah, that's a great point. You're absolutely correct. There it is.
Yeah, so he has no intention of interesting that he's going range 2 here. So if he doesn't die, if he miraculously doesn't take any damage, he could still pick up that cube if he wanted to. So pretty that's a decent move here. Let's see what we get. Yeah, they're dead. Okay. All right, Shadowlands Daredevil. So let's see if he's picking up the cube or not. Looks like he's not going for it. He's gonna just take the point here. Now, interesting that Bullseye, a two-threat character, is scoring 2 VPs around, where Daredevil is probably just gonna sit there, not doing a whole lot, and scoring only 1 VP around. It does provide Nova the ability to take out the weaker character in Bullseye and get that cube potentially, but that's why Kingpin has a leadership that can let him pass. I think we're going to see Bullseye pass it to probably Kingpin in round 2 if Bullseye gets that chance before, if he gets that chance.
Yeah, absolutely. But the way it's looking for Raine, I mean, that's pretty tidy. You got Shadowland Daredevil. He has stealth. He's going to sit pretty there. Your analysis of Bullseye is spot on. I do like the Mysterio play there. Just get Mysterio on that point. Make sure that it doesn't get crowded out. I'm not sure that a double medium move from Luke Cage could have prevented Mysterio from getting on that point. But when you got a small mover like that, it really is a challenging situation. And so he was right to get him on there.
Yeah, so we're seeing the range 3 measurement here. So he's sometimes you forget that a character has stealth, and you measure like a range 4 gun against a range 3 character or a character with stealth. But in this case, he doesn't forget. Looks like he's just gonna grab Goblin and dip out. Shadowlands is gonna be left on an island if I'm predicting what Goblin does next. I've got Matt in the chat. He's got a few emojis here. Here's a code. Let's see if we can decipher it. It's 3 ninjas, an explosion, and a graveyard, and a grave. So obviously that's just about the ninjas blowing up. Pretty fun. Love the chat emojis. We've got Goblin rotating to the back point. Basically, I guess the main thinking here is I'm going to have Daredevil be as inefficient as possible this game. He's really stuck there, doing not too much. I mean, that 1 VP around is not nothing, but it's definitely a lot less than what you would want out of a 4 threat. So let's see if that decision to rotate heavily onto the right side of Nova's, the north side from my screen, pays off for him.
Yeah, he's looking to just go. Well, I mean, Lizard's gonna move up probably next. Try and crowd some space from Luke Cage. Luke Cage diving down there will just nullify that point, and nobody gets it, and that might be acceptable.
So I think that
Nova.
I think we're gonna see Rocket Raccoon break the tie there. I think we're gonna see Lizard grab grab the cube, and then we're going to see Rocket double move. Now, Raine, if he can see this coming, it would be very advantageous for him to put Luke Cage in a position that he makes it a little more difficult for Rocket to get to the point if he can body block. That little canister there might be what keeps the tie for Raine and gets in. I think that would put the game even. So let's see what Luke Cage does on Raine's next turn. So
And
we've
you're
got
absolutely right.
Nova is doing the double walk. So I think right there he's thinking, oh, look at that. Look, I love when you call out like a line and how to counter it, and then the player has considered those counter plays and is making a move based on that. You love to see players really considering a turn or two ahead at the very least, and that's what we're seeing from Nova. So I think let's see if who he opts to go with right now. Interesting that he's choosing not to pick up the extract. Or hold on, it's hard to see from this angle, but it looks like he's trying to get within one.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna make it.
I mean, it wouldn't make much sense to put on Rocket because he will have like such low health. He has such low health compared to Lizard, who can heal. So I'm really expecting Nova to pick this up with Lizard. He's frozen. He's frozen in indecision apparently. Okay, there we go. Yep, great move. I think that both players are playing very very well. Low error rate or something like that. I don't know what the perfect opening was for either player, but they're both playing at a pretty high level from on the openings here. That's good to see. You don't want to see a player lose a game on round one. So, yeah, let's see what happens with Luke Cage here. Let's see if he goes for the body block on Rocket or something like that.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, is HyperNova knows that one of the only ways to stop the counting as two criminals from getting these secures too easily is to crowd the point, crowd as much as possible, stop the movement, base block. It really is very effective.
Okay, so interesting. Rhino's measuring outside of range 5 of Rocket. So basically just like don't get double tapped on round 1. I don't think that was ever Nova's plan here. He did put his Rhino within range 5 of Strange. I didn't see a movement tool go out against Strange. So he's maybe he's willing to take those hits from Strange. Let's see what we do here, and Rocket should be able to get on that point based on where he was. And so yeah, it looks like we're going to get there. So it means that we're likely going to see a 5-4 lead for Nova after round 1. So let's see if Luke Cage decides to get in the mix. He's setting up. Oh, there we go. So he's setting up. He's doing the range 3 for the gore, but also potentially for the Heroes for Hire play off of Rhino. Being range 3 of Luke Cage, and he'll have 2 power next round. So it's like a little bit of both 2 for the price of 1 measuring there. He's being very efficient with how he measures. All right.
And it is a slightly scary prospect for HyperNova that you're going to have Rhino coming in to Rocket. I don't see any tech that's going to prevent it. He does have the mission objective that he's going to allow him to pass to one of those 2 characters, effectively nullifying the robbery. But the Rhino hits the raccoon quite hard.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. The other thing that is on Nova's side is that he Rocket, Goblin. So let's hear. Does Rocket? I'm trying to think. Okay, so Tricks and Traps from Mysterio. Is that what it's called? Tricks and Traps. It costs 3 power. As well as Rocket's Booby Traps, yeah, that's what they're called, are also 3 power. They're both on 2 power right now, which means that Rhino, like if they both had more power, they would both be able to hit Rhino with those like little love taps from those abilities. But because they are little slow starters here to get that power, that get those abilities online, Rhino, if he wanted to, he could have a turn where he lays into them without much retaliation potentially. So let's see what Nova does as the opening on for round 2 here. Looks like he's going to send Rhino away.
Is he about to
Rhino,
scalpel Rhino?
yeah, that seems like a great way to the key thing here is making sure Rhino stays outside of range 1 of after a double move, if he can do a double move. So this is a range 3 place. Rhino has 2 power, so he can't Stampede. As soon as Rhino has Stampede online, he can basically go anywhere he wants. So this is the only real chance that I think we're gonna see in the game where he can displace Rhino, and it will actually impact his activation to a significant enough degree. The tanker is size 4, Chrono. Oh, Mark, if you, I don't know if you have my Twitch stream up online on your computer, but you can see the chat if you do.
Will do. Will do.
All right, so it looks like we're going with Strange is likely the activation first. Now, of course, you can do all the measuring you want and then decide to use a different character. So until we see like an attack dice start rolling or we see the model being picked up, we don't know for sure who is activating. So yeah, this is when you're playing the game here. You can just do all the measuring you want to do. I mean, obviously, if you're playing on chess clocks, you've got a limited amount of time or a round timer. Of course, there's the whole. You don't want to. You want to be taking the equal amount of time that your opponent is taking generally, until you're at a point where you both know the game will be over before the round timer ends. In this case, there is no round timer. They can take as long as they want, but hopefully we're not here all night. All right, so let's see. We're doing a displacement on Rhino. I think this is pretty good. That size 4 will get in the way. Rhino looks like it's too wide to even rest on the tanker, so he's gonna have to go around it. Doesn't have power for a size 4 throw. Doesn't have power for the stampede. So it looks like we're gonna see a double walk from Rhino this turn, which is great for Nova.
Yeah, that's absolutely enormous. That is a sad Rhino. That is a tremendous play. I'm well impressed.
Yeah. Even like I like the mission objective was a great tactic card pick too. It like you mentioned, it does counter the um this is robbery card to some degree, right? Because as soon as you drop that extract, you can play mission objective and it can go to your friend within range 2. You still get displaced, but you basically the main part of the card and the reason Rhino plays it in most of the time is for that steal. So yeah, it was. I think these cards that Nova brought are really great. The Grand Illusion. Let's see if that has a lot of impact. I'm worried that that card will not be played because it is a D-shaped secure. A lot of models will be spread out, but typically you'd see Mysterio on an E-shaped game. But other than that, I mean, Mission Objective Brace are great cards to pick here.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here with HyperNova stymieing Rhino between the mission objective and that brilliant move from Strange, he notices that Raine doesn't have the displacement to start to throw these characters away and turn off that mission objective play and allow Rhino to get it. Personally, it's part of the reason I bring Ghost Spider. She has that ability to pick my opponent's defensive shells apart and allow me to do that. But he's quite stuck. He doesn't have that reliable displacement from Cage.
So actually, we've got Krunstall in the chat here mentioning that you actually don't get thrown if you play mission objective. Okay, so
No, yeah, correct.
all right, that's good. That's good call out. I'm an accuser, but I'm also a human being, so I'm not going to get everything right. Actually, that brings up in my last stream, we had a sacrifice play, and it was off of Cable into Colossus, I believe, and then Cable paid power to increase dice. And on the stream, I thought that was not allowed because of Sacrifice's card, but Sacrifice only prevents the character being attacked from adding dice, but Cable wasn't the character being attacked, allowing Cable to add the dice. So it was actually a legal play. Yeah, so like little things like that. I mean, it's there's a lot of different little rules in the game, and so it's easy to not know everything.
Yeah, so we don't have any Doc Ock, so obviously there is no well laid plans online here, but I think that HyperNova's decision to invest those points elsewhere has really paid off already.
Yeah, you can see that by Raine taking a little while to activate, you can see that he had a clear plan for a first activation in mind, and I think it's been foiled by Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it really has. And I think at this point, Hypernova's happy to leave Shadowland Daredevil where he is. I mean, counting blanks on any attack coming in from the Goblin on his healthy side, nothing's going to get through. There's no good terrain over there to explode that could get through Daredevil's defenses. So, I mean, we're looking at that one flanked packed with a fishbowl, a raccoon, a lizard, and Luke Cage. I mean, that's where the action is.
Yeah, let's see how Raine manages this. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's quite the puzzle to solve here with no obvious activation here. I mean, maybe you just like pass and let Luke Cage build up some power for a bigger clapback. Maybe you go with Luke Cage now. You spend the power on Mysterio's to bring Mysterio's shields down, and you've got a 5 dice attack into one. You might be able to punch through enough damage if you get a decent roll. Looks like Raine is considering to go with Luke Cage. Let's see what he does. Here we go. Rocket. 5 dice into 2 dice with cover. I mean I personally like the Mysterio play, but let's see. So let's see what the dice roll. We got 3 successes into 1 block from Rocket. The skull does not count as cover. Wow, look at that. We're seeing 2 damage go through on Rocket. He's almost dead. He's almost wow.
Yeah, it's a good play. He's going to eliminate one of those bodies. Um, my knack for not attacking might be showing here, but I don't think that anyone should be attacking Luke Cage. He's going to heroes for hire. He's going to get a throw off. He might just get that displacement on top of a potential daze here. This next roll is huge.
Yeah, that's right. So let's see if Rocket survives. He could use the Extremis console to kind of negate Luke Cage's activation. He rolls 1, and they
Oh,
got the blocks.
oh,
Wow.
wow.
So Luke Cage takes or does no damage to Rocket here. I mean, I think you just let's see what that range 5 tool on Rocket is, but you can use that Extremis console now to heal him up if you decide to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's
And
see.
if I'm Hypernova, I'm not attacking Luke Cage for a moment. It's just not going to happen. Sitting there is sitting pretty.
I'm worried for Rocket's sake here because Bullseye does ignore cover. He has the power for hit and run. He's if and so Bullseye kills Rocket here if Rocket doesn't heal. So that's what would concern me.
Yeah, and I think to your point, it might be time to rotate Rocket out unless he gets to the other side of that console.
Yeah, let's see. He could. I mean,
I
yeah,
think we're
Rocket could.
measuring that right
Rocket
now.
could just heal, double walk to the back console, and heal again for back to full health, if he wanted
Yep.
to. But let's see. Let's see what happens here. Let's see.
Yeah. So
He's
he's measuring that. I don't think his Rocket can ignore. Rather, can get to the other side of the console. Ooh, he's going for it. He's going to put him on the other
okay.
side of the console. He's hoping that Bullseye just can't make it to him.
Yeah. So let's see here. All right. So now he's moved, and now he doesn't take collision damage. So I mean, maybe you're thinking that there's no issue with Rocket going into Luke Cage here and drawing out Heroes for Hire. I would heal first. Okay, he's opting to Spender into Luke Cage with no healing. I don't know. I think that's pretty risky here. Let's
Ooh,
see.
very risky.
3 successes. Luke Cage blocks none. He's taking 2 so far. Got a crit coming in though. And Luke Cage takes 3 damage. Yeah.
Pending 2. He did not Heroes for Hire.
Nope, no Heroes for Hire.
Ooh, interesting call.
I'm thinking that Raine's probably like what can Rocket with one health? Like he can't do anything now.
Yeah, he's thinking long game.
So, all right, let's see what Raine is gonna do here. Can he? Maybe he can hit Lizard.
It's
He
close.
did. He is gonna be in range of Mysterio to mission objective. Lizard, like Krunstall says, Lizard throw Luke away. Lizard has 2 power. He would need a 3rd power to do that. So yes, it is possible. Let's see what looks like. He can't see Lizard. He didn't get far enough, so he's just double walking Rhino, and not being on the point. So
Yeah.
he's interesting. He does have another Heroes for Hire option now too. If you go into Rhino or anything like that. Yeah, so
Yep.
if you attack either of those characters, you could Heroes for Hire could come out. So let's see what happens now with Nova's next turn.
Absolutely. And Nova's got to be careful not to go into Rhino. If Nova commits something into Rhino, Rhino would aggressive onto that point.
Okay, we have Mysterio throwing. Exactly, yes, that's right. So we have Mysterio throwing. He's looking to do at least 1 damage to Luke Cage because that
Oh my.
would advance him. And he has his foes reroll, so he's probably going
Oh
to use
my.
it. Oh, he's opting not to use it. So let me see. He might.
Either way, Luke Cage is taking a walk.
Yep, he is. That's sad for Luke Cage. He's contributing nothing to the game, to the score this round. And let's see if he looks like he's putting him in range for Goblin. This is why I would have liked to see Rocket not waste his power. He could have done his booby traps ability, but I mean, I guess he did put 3 damage on Luke Cage, so you can't really complain too much.
No. And Mysterio will be potentially using his superpower right now.
Heroes on Mysterio is bad. That's what Krunstall says. I'm not sure. So yeah, he's gonna generate the power. He's gonna use tricks and traps on Luke Cage, I would imagine, to get some more free chunk damage on Luke Cage.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is
This
let's
is
see
big.
what
No
this.
Heroes for Hire available on this.
Yep. Let's see how many he needs. He does reduce damage to Luke Cage. So if you want to kill Luke Cage here, you still have to roll 3 crits or wilds. We're seeing 4 dice. It would be very unlikely to see that happen. So let's see. I mean, I've rolled the miracle 1 time, and I got 4 crits or wilds, and it was awesome.
Lucas.
Oh
Lucas,
my god!
Lucas.
My mind is blown. Holy. Let's see some chat activity here. I would like to see some something in the chat to represent. Let's get the Spiderfoe players dropping some bombs. That was holy moly. Let's get some hype in the chat for that freaking amazing tricks and traps roll. Holy moly, that was crazy. Oh man, wow.
Now, was that tricks and traps or was that another hypnosis gas?
Oh, no, that was he measured range 3 on that. Hold on. Oh, you know
That was a
what?
hypnosis gas because he's now
Oh
at 6
man.
power.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it didn't matter. Okay. Either
It
way.
did not.
Oh man. Okay. No, a little too hype, but all right. Either way, I mean, a kill is a kill, right? So.
Yeah.
All right.
Made the right decision.
Look at that. So
and
you're
now the
having
team-
now we're having a kingpin double move here. I think that Raine is sensing the attrition and problem that Nova is setting up here. Yeah, no, making Kingpin have to double move. Like that's interesting. Wow. He's like
Yeah.
really putting the pressure on Raine's team to act and to chase. Wow. And now, like I said, Daredevil on the island here, down here. That's like I think it's gonna be a problem. I said it at the beginning. Like Nova's put Raine in a position where his 1 steal isn't gonna work. This turn at all. He has no displacement left on Raine's turn. And it's not like next turn. It like he can put up. He's putting up this puzzle that Rhino won't be able to break through anytime soon. We've got Extremist Console with Lizard, healing Rocket, and now we've got an attack into Kingpin here. He's looking for the Wild on the push.
Oh my, that's huge. Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
this
roll.
is
The
this
roll.
is
Here's
oh
the
my
roll. Here's
gosh.
no, there it is. There it is.
Oh my gosh, what a roll too. And so he's gonna put at least 2 damage through on Kingpin. It might be a third if Kingpin doesn't reduce. But wow. Hold on, we got a we got a faux reroll. Wow, this is
Oh my.
Nova is like turning up the gas here on this turn. He's putting a lot of pressure on Raine here with these really strong, like he's activating characters in a really very strong order, and that's a mistake that a lot of players can make early on, or when you're like still learning the game, is activation order and when to put characters like activation order. And it looks like Nova is really picking the characters. He's picking characters perfectly right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I cannot tell you how frustrating that will be for Raine. Kingpin is basically right back where he was.
Yeah, and not even scoring either. So he's just on an
No.
island. Bullseye is basically forced to stay on that point. Otherwise, he's not scoring it at all. And like even I know I'm going back to the Daredevil train here, but like I think Daredevil might not even be in a good position to rotate at all because he's so on the outside of the point. Um, Raine was. It's interesting because like Raine was maybe expecting some firepower going Daredevil's way, but Nova's having none of that, and he's just letting Daredevil be. So he's let's see what just happened here. I'm trying to see how did Bullseye just move?
He did. He did move on to the dumpster. He's
Okay,
anticipating some firepower coming in. He's going to
so
get some cover.
okay, so Lizard just only did the one action. He chose not to adjust his characters at all. That's fine. I might have liked to see Lizard barricade himself on that barrel in front of Mysterio. That way you couldn't throw Lizard with like Luke Cage couldn't throw Lizard into Mysterio. But maybe the Rocket and maybe Mysterio is still protected because of Rocket and the barrel anyway. So there's really nothing to say. Here we've got a hit and run into Bullseye. Oh my god. Oh man, like there's like range. Oh, hold on. So could he hit that range 4? Looks
He
like he
was short.
couldn't. He
He
was
was
short.
short.
All right, so
Raine made sure of it, and now Goblin has to go back because if he doesn't, then it's just the opportunity for Shadowland and Daredevil to potentially get to that point. I
yeah,
think the double medium move would have got him there, and that would have stolen it. But he did what he had to do.
yeah,
This
the
is
the body block. Yeah, nice.
yeah.
I think that looking at the tool down now, I think yeah. So like I said, Raine's positioning on Daredevil wasn't aggressive enough to be able to rotate on a future turn. Daredevil does have decent health, right? He's like Black Panther on this side, and so Black Panther is known to be pretty tanky, and especially against a character that only doesn't hit Mystic. So I would have liked to see Daredevil be in a position to rotate, and that was that small little, like literally just 1.5 to 2 inches off of where he was would have been enough. And Raine might be paying for it here. Let's see, we got a 10-8 score, so Nova held on to the 5-4 lead another turn. He's got the bunker. He's got a bunker set up with mission objective online to stop the steal. I think that Raine really needs to get some sort of attrition going here to flip a character or two, or else he's going to see another 5-4 deficit on this round.
And are we about to see the Grand Illusion?
Oh man, that would be you're right. I think we are. This is he's considering it. I'm looking at the tools. But yeah, this is going to stop any sort of attrition, like I just said, in its tracks. Yeah, Matt calling Grand Illusion incoming. He's a spider foe, so he has that Norman Osborn tingle. So let's see if Matt's right here and we get a Grand Illusion.
It would be the right play. He doesn't need to activate Mysterio to do it, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see the card here. Yeah, it can play at any time during his turn, and he has priority. Yep, there it is. Let's see who he's activating first. Let's see. Yep, he's gonna put the tokens down on Mysterio. It goes on Mysterio, right? I think that's how that works. But either way, both players know what's going on, I'm sure. Oh, Raine doesn't. He's gonna read the card, but yeah, this is very painful. So let's just read the card out loud on the chat here. So anyone within 3 of Mysterio that is on the enemy team does not add crit results to their successes, and they're converted into skulls. So he doesn't get to no explosion on crits. Crits count as skulls. It really just takes a dice face completely off and limits any sort of spikes. And we have an activation here. 5 dice attack. It looks like maybe a rocket attack here. Into Luke Cage. Is that what we're seeing?
Not sure. It would be into Luke. That would be his energy defense.
There we go. It is rocket. He generates enough power to now be able to use a spender if he wants to. Let's see if he's going to do that. And he is. He is going to do that. It's interesting because it does put damage on Rhino if he rolls a wild. Let me double check that. It is before damage is dealt. So if he gets a wild, rocket or Rhino will be pushed away, pushed towards Luke short. Tippy toe gas down. I don't know what that means, but all right, let's see. All right, we've got a Heroes for Hire is what we're thinking here.
Yeah, I mean it's a last ditch effort, right?
Yeah. Wow, he's Nova is completely dusting Luke Cage here. So yeah, this is pretty wow, this is a pretty strong play for Nova. Oh man. The emojis. The emojis are yep, that's a thing that's happening. That is for sure.
Probably talking about Luke Cage here.
Yeah, so I think that man, I think Daredevil was the wrong pick, like based on obviously hindsight's 2020, and you can't really criticize a player for bringing characters because they've got a strategy. Does Heroes for Hires trigger before I pay for the spender? Let's see here. You declare the attack. He plays heroes. Then you pay for it. I think I'm not sure. Let me jump in. Let me just jump in. I'll be right back. Let me try to resolve this for them. All right, hey guys. So you pay for an attack when the target is viable, and when you have a viable target. Like after the defensive player does all of their interactions, if you still have a viable character to target, you then pay for the attack. Now, Heroes for Hire, the placement doesn't change. You don't remeasure line of sight or range from that ability.
That's not the question.
Okay.
So the place would trigger the tricks and traps off Mysterio, and I was wondering if that killed Luke Cage, would have Rocket have already paid for the spender, if that makes sense.
Okay. Holy moly. That's interesting. I think that
I mean, he could just place it outside of range. We don't have to worry about it, I think.
I could probably find out in a minute, or I could find out in a couple minutes if you guys want to wait.
I mean, Raine, are you just gonna place backwards just so we don't have to?
Yeah.
All
it
right.
just feels weird to target me with your spender and then not have to pay power and spend it on something else.
It's like it's kind of like Eye in the Sky. Like you would target them, they would eye in the sky before you pay the power. Isn't that?
Let me see here.
Well, that's a real technical thing.
Let me just see if there's anyone. Let's see if there's anyone available right now that can help at all.
Okay.
So just give me. Let's wait a minute here. And Let's see. I've pinged the accusers, so I'm gonna see if anyone is online.
Ping.
Okay, let's see. I'm okay. Let's consult the let's consult the rules here on the timing chart of the attack, and then we'll try. Maybe we can solve it together here. Atomic mass
I love being
games.
complicated.
No, it's all good. Rules. All right. Attack sequence. Appendix A. Let's see. Here we go. So you choose an attack. All right. You choose an attack.
Yep.
Let's see. Declare an enemy. You did that. Measure the range. You did that.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. If the target isn't in range, okay. Okay, that's fine. Pay the power for the attack. Hold on. Let's see here. Choose the. Hey,
Is
Dizzard, what's going on? We have a rocket declared an attack. We're gonna have a heroes for hire. We have the ability for Mysterio to play tricks and traps. We're trying to figure out at what point does Rocket pay for the power.
Say it one more time slowly.
Okay. So Rocket is declared a spender into Luke Cage.
Okay.
Luke Cage is going to play heroes for hire on himself and place within
Okay.
one. It
Okay.
might end up within range 3 of Mysterio, in which case tricks and traps would be available for Mysterio.
Yeah.
When does Rocket pay for the power? Has he at that point of tricks and traps going off? Has he already paid for the power?
Pretty sure the power. So once the place happens, is when the power should be spent.
Here's what I have. I have if the target is in range, effects that happen when a character is targeted is when you starting with the attacker. So okay, so I don't think you pay power here. So we've got step 2. This is step 2. Choose a character in the attacking character's line of sight. We've done that. Measure the range. We've done that. If the target isn't in range, choose a different target or the attack ends. Okay, so we've done that. If the target is in range, which he is, you resolve the effects that happen when a character is targeted starting with the attacker. So the attacker has no effects at that point. The defender has an effect. He's got heroes for hire. He plays heroes for hire, at which point Mysterio could play tricks and traps. And if he let's say he chooses not to, the next step after that is pay power for the attack. So based on my understanding of the sequence here, Rocket doesn't pay the power until this heroes for hire is fully resolved, as well as the Mysterio superpower that would go along with it.
gotcha.
All right, are we
Makes sense.
clear?
From my understanding, I'd say yeah, because the same thing as like Eye in the Sky, right? So if like
Yeah.
Eye in the Sky, you don't pay until after it's resolved.
Yeah, that's perfect logic. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Is there any difference, like, because he wants to do it with Rocket himself? So, like, Rocket is declared a spender on me, and he's going to spend that power on something else instead.
So you
I
don't
believe
pay you don't actually pay the power for the spender until
believe-
triggers are done.
But don't you
Yeah,
have to be like, I'm
yeah.
targeting you with this attack, and then like you can't even
Well,
do that attack?
Raine, I think that the attack would end at that point.
Yes,
I
yes.
wouldn't be able to do
Yeah.
that. Would be my action gone. So
Oh.
ideally,
Yeah.
it would be Mysterio doing it. But if you get out of range of Mysterio, yeah, Rocket's not gonna do it. He's gonna try and shoot you in the face.
So it's basically like when you're targeting someone with an attack, it's like I'm going to attack this person. You're not declaring which attack you're doing. That way, if there's a trigger response, like I think Eye in the Sky is like the most perfect example, is because say I'm targeting somebody and Fury says, "Okay, I'm gonna Eye in the Sky." You don't declare which attack it is until like they have their window to have a response for being targeted.
So you choose your attack as the first action. So yeah, you choose, in that case, Eye in the Sky. You are still picking which attack you're doing, but yeah, Eye in the
just don't
Sky,
pay.
Yeah.
you just don't pay until you have a confirmed target. And so
Yeah.
that's the situation here.
And I think the unique thing about that case is Eye in the Sky says you can make a new action, so at that point it wouldn't matter.
Right. Whereas
one-
this doesn't let you do that, so that's why
Yep.
the action would end if Tricks and Traps succeeds. Yes.
Confirmed. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, gentlemen.
Yep. Thanks.
Of course.
All right, so we're back. We fixed the problem. So here's how this situation is working. We've got Heroes for Hire being played. The question they were having was that if Luke Cage ended within 3 of Mysterio, and Mysterio killed Luke Cage, would Rocket still have to have spent the power? The answer is no, because all of these effects that happen as a character is targeted, and therefore when Mysterio does Tricks and Traps in this case, would happen before Rocket actually pays for the power on the attack. Very interesting little dilemma there, but we got it resolved, so it's all good.
Great, you got it right. We're seeing Luke Cage go down here. I think Rhino is about to take damage from the Wild. The Vortex effect.
Okay,
Lucas,
yes,
while
yes.
you were sorting that out, I was just getting my technology sorted on my end here. You can still hear my audio all
Yeah,
right?
you sound great. Yep. All right. Yeah, so there we go. Thanks. Yeah, so chat is looking like they are figuring it out. If often chat figures it out faster than me, and but yeah, so there we go. They figured it out. It's just like we did. All right.
That is a push on Rhino. Again, that is not good. Rhino.
Rocket.
No,
So
Red-
Rocket was able to kill Luke Cage there. He had and the reason we have the push is because of Vortex. It's before damage is dealt. You can push towards Luke Cage on any character within 2, any enemy characters. So that's why Rhino got pushed. It's not going to be the end of the huge deal for Rhino. He can still looks like he can still gore, but yeah.
You know what? It is actually going to be huge because Rhino is not exploding crits, but in his previous position, Rhino could have went into Rocket. He could have done a charge, rolled 7 dice, taken out Rocket, got some power, then went into Mysterio and possibly took Mysterio out. But that is no longer going to be possible. And if he had done that, the mission objective wouldn't have been online. He might have been able to steal. A lot would have had to come together for Rhino there, but none of that is possible now.
So hold on. What about the Stampede though? Bringing him into the situation, right? He can Stampede now. He still has the power to do that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So it just means his his line is like more strict. He has to do things in a certain order now. But you're right. The I think the answer here is a little bit of a Hail Mary for Rhino getting Rocket, getting Mysterio, and then mission objective. Or sorry, this is a robbery into Lizard.
Yeah, spot on. And he's going to need to do it. I don't see any other plays on the board to start to crawl some points back here. It's going to need to happen soon. Kingpin is going to have a double move and a throw online, but not a double move and a point scoring opportunity on that secure. And so, interesting. Did we get a pass from Raine?
We had Bullseye activate, and he did nothing but heal. So it's interesting here. So we've got Doctor Strange with a cube. I'm seeing he can be quite the menace, right? He's got 4 power again, so he can double walk displace. Can you imagine seeing him like if he has last activation, which he will based on the current characters on the board. If Daredevil even tries to come close, he's going to the middle of nowhere, right? Daredevil or Doctor Strange could easily just like send him on his way.
Yeah.
And then like I mean, you can even see Doctor Strange do that and then double walk to where Daredevil is. Like okay, so we have a Lizard. Oh my god, so dirty. He's tossing.
Yeah.
Oh dude. Oh my god.
This double stagger on Kingpin. I mean, it's the right play. It's frustrating for Raine seeing the mayor himself thrown into oblivion. It is the right play. We're probably going to see the Rhino play next from Raine.
Yeah, that was yeah, it's like Nova, it's like, who's the real criminal here? Look at him. He's like, he's doing his attacks, only attacking when needed. Sometimes even only spending one action on a turn. In this case, he just did 2 walk actions and a superpower throw. He's like playing your game into your team.
Yeah, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to learn how to be a bad guy, this was the right game to join, the right stream to watch, because this is the opportunity to take notes. These are some bad dudes. So interesting that Kingpin was activated. I mean, there is a world where Mysterio walks forward and pushes Rhino back again. If HyperNova seeing that play,
It has to be what you're saying. You're saying push Kingpin again.
no, I'm thinking that possible Hypernova here moves Mysterio forward. If he is within range 3, he's going to have another Hypnosis Gas into Rhino. And if damage goes through against that 2 Mystic defense, he could be moving him again. There's also,
I think the aggressive on Rhino is what's preventing that from happening. But yeah, I think that Raine is in a big is in a really bad position here because that last activation. Look, he's gonna get a free attack into Daredevil here. I think this is totally fine. Goblin's not doing anything else otherwise, and Daredevil with a lot of power doesn't really matter unless he's within range 2 of you. So it's basically like free shots into Daredevil here.
Yeah, and Daredevil's stuck over there because he's got to focus on scenario play. The pivot to attrition is not going to get him very far.
All right, so yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward here. You're gonna do a little more body blocking, and it just makes it a little harder for Daredevil to get there.
Another really solid roll from Goblin there. The dice are really clicking for HyperNova.
Yeah, that's right. They're it's working. His plan is he's got some well laid plans, eh?
To say the least.
Okay, so let's see what we've got. Rhino. Do you hold off on Rhino's activation? I mean, I guess there's no harm in it. I think that um, hmm.
It's tough to say. It's got to happen. It's got to be big. It's going to be heavily neutered by the Grand Illusion. Really,
I think you go with Mysterio here if you're Nova. Like you want to go with Mysterio earlier because then his range 3 attack into Lizard could potentially already be scuffed from, if he wants to attack Lizard, that is, could already be scuffed from Mysterio's Grand Illusion if he puts Mysterio up a little further. Maybe not, but you could also power up Mysterio by pushing damage through on Rhino. So I guess the question would be like, is the power I gain from Mysterio's attack into Rhino worth Rhino gaining power? Maybe not. Looks like we've got Daredevil just sticking there. Raine saw what I already called out, which was that if you move Daredevil towards Strange, it means you get 0 points. But
yes.
let's see.
Yeah,
he's measuring range 3. What's that for? It's just an attack into Daredevil. You might as well, since you've already won that back point in all likelihood. Yep. Looks like Rhino's probably going to stick over on the top side of the board. Let's see what the free attack from Doctor Strange puts him at. 3 with a pierce. Was that enough? No, it's not enough. But do you just roll it all? Do you just roll it all again anyway? Because you might as well. Or do you just put 3 on Daredevil? You put 3 on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm seeing.
Right.
I'm seeing. Oh yeah, okay. 1 to 4, so that's 3 damage. All right.
And that's a 5th going through because of the foes.
No, he rolled blanks anyway, so it was just straight
Oh,
3.
blank. Yeah, yeah, and the blanks won't count because there's Mystic, and so what's with
Oh,
Rhino here?
it's okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking I think that you could have potentially risked it by doing the place on Strange and getting a 2-tap on Daredevil, but I mean, I think you're just getting greedy at that point. Looks like Nova accidentally tried to take a third action here. What is happening? I'm trying to figure out what is allowing Doctor Strange to have. He must. Oh, he did teleport himself.
Ah, I see.
I think that must have been
Yes,
what happened.
that's right.
Is hold on, I'm trying to run the numbers here. Is that actually what happened? He's at
Yeah.
2 power. He was at 4. So he spent. Oh, I see. Yep, he went down to 0, didn't attack into Daredevil, moved back and healed, and is netting at 2. So he maintains both of his characters on the back point here. Looks like um, Rhino is just
Right.
basically admitting defeat on that side.
Yeah, that's a double move in a Stampede to try and stymie a point. No, I was thinking there that Rhino spends 3 of those power, throws that truck at Lizard, gets braced out of the game because he might need that Rhino throw later, but it wasn't to be. He rotates him to the back.
He's forcing. Oh no, he's just done with Rhino. Yeah, he knows that mission objective is gonna really mess up Rhino's turn. And look at this. Now that he's claimed this top point guaranteed, he's just gonna send Mysterio over to that side of the board. The aggressive on Rhino is gonna pull him away from Nova's back point.
Yep, and the aggressive is a tricks and traps opportunity.
Yeah, that's fair. So he could get 2 tricks and traps if he gets enough power. He rolls really well with 3 successes. Rhino blocks
wow.
only 1.
And that one might get re-rolled. Yes, it is.
Yep. Let's see if he does that. It won't actually matter for damage. I would have saved that reroll. But because he was taking 1 no matter what. Hold on, nope, I'm wrong. He took 2 there. So
Yep. 2, and then there's going to be a small move.
potentially, you don't have to do the aggressive, but
yep, he's going to do it and trigger tricks and traps.
Oh man, that's interesting. Yep, it is an option, but I don't think. Whoa, can you? Is that in line with aggressive? I think that was.
That's HyperNova's hypnosis gas.
Oh yeah. Shoot, you're right.
Yep.
Wow, that is super powerful. I forgot about that. Oh, guys, this is crazy. Let's see what he rolls. Does he get any damage through on Rhino?
He does.
Wow, he gets a single point of damage because of the damage reduction.
That gives him a small move.
Oh my god. There you go. Let's see if does he roll a blank? No blank, so he doesn't have the ability online again. But the good news is that he has the ability online. He has the ability online for next round because he'll gain a power in the power phase. Let's and
so
that means he's just rotated his bunker of the mission objective bunker over to the back point. Very smart move, and he still has the mission objective on Lizard and Raccoon. So, wow, it's you know what, I was not a Mysterio believer, but he is earning his place in this game for sure.
Yeah, a strong Mysterio player is going to do that. I am not one of them. But the play there is brilliant. The Grand Illusion has been brilliant. I'm a little bit surprised Rhino didn't go for the dice into Rocket Raccoon and Mysterio. I mean, he would have had the dice despite the Grand Illusion, but he elected to rotate and try and make something happen in round 4 rather.
Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna be the end of the round here. We're going to score, looks like we're scoring 5-4 again, 15-12. That's a lot of pressure on Kingpin's team to get some work done. We've got Rhino, who has 3 health left, and we have Daredevil, 2 health left. It makes me nervous for the criminal team to be able to mount any sort of mount a comeback here. So they do have priority. The Grand Illusion is now offline, so Rhino can basically he can go crazy here if he needs to, or he can as much as he can. Let's see if he activates Rhino first. The option to take out Raccoon and then the Robbery Lizard is available. So let's see if he does that. It would be much harder to take out the Doctor Strange and Goblin cubes because Mysterio can get within 2 of them with like tricks and traps. So yeah, I think that's why he's opting to go this way. He destroys the little barrel with his little what is it called, Stampede. So we're going into Rocket. 7 dice with 2 into cover.
And I think that Mysterio moved there because he just decided to acquiesce. Just allow this to unfold, allow Rocket to potentially go down here, allow the steal to go off, and just come in later on and pick up the pieces. Because this forces Rhino for this to be the first activation.
Yeah, and so we're seeing a place. And key thing to note is that the place is before damage. All right, so we have to get a little bit of an undo. So just as I was calling it out, you have to place before damage. Therefore, Rocket wouldn't have had the power to trap it, and so there we go. Now here's the interesting part though. Now that Rocket has taken damage, no matter who he attacks, Rocket can trigger the booby trap ability before the dice roll successes are actually calculated and the damage is dished out. So very interesting timing on this.
Yeah, and very unfortunate roll from Raine. I mean, look.
Yeah, that was really, you needed more than that. That's for sure.
Really did. He really, really did. It's very unfortunate.
Okay, so looks like we're deciding on what to do here. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. The emojis. The raccoon blocks the rhino.
Yeah, that's wild.
the wizard lightning bolts. All right, we've got mission objective into Rocket. So that card is now gone. Robbery has been played as well. Do we see this power spent for Robbery? It looks.
We did.
Yeah, we did. Okay, we're seeing it. Yep, there it goes. There's the card flipped. Okay. So.
And this will now to go into Rocket and possibly get that extract anyways.
Yeah, that's basically what he's doing there. Yeah, I think that would you have gotten the same results if you attacked into Rocket first and then played it? I think so, maybe. I'm not sure if the order there was incorrect, but it seems like it at first glance. But anyway, we have 3 into 1 block. So that's enough to get Rocket. He goes down.
Yeah.
This is the interesting part though, is that he could have booby trapped this before he dies. Right? The place happens before damage. So now he's doing it. Yeah. So now he's spending the 3.
Yeah, that's a great call.
And he's there we go. Yep. So he's getting maybe a free damage on. He's hoping for a crit or wild. And nothing, so waste of power. All right. Okay, so now let's see how HyperNova responds. Raine needed to do that. He's now winning the secure and winning this extract over here on the north side. Lizard cannot displace him with his abilities, so I think like when Nova does activate Lizard, he'll probably be looking to push enough damage through. But Lizard has got Pillow Fist. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe Nova tries something else. So let's see what we're doing with Doctor Strange. Looks like he's getting a place, and he's probably looking to double tap Daredevil to take that VP away from Raine.
Yeah, this will be a savage move. It's the right one.
Yeah. Rolls 3 into 1 block. That's Daredevil gone.
Wow.
And now he might be able to just rotate to that point. Bullseye. Yeah, there we go. We're seeing a rotation to the point. Smart move. He will also obviously, healing the damage here too, so that you are even. You have more health left on you. So the extremist consoles are really helping Nova be able to get his superpower abilities off, but then also heal back the damage from the cube. So he's really leveraging both aspects of the crisis here pretty well. Why did Strange take a damage? Let's see the chat here. I forfeit. Okay, he forfeits. We're gonna join in the chat. All right, Mark, let's join in the chat. They're calling the game.
Sounds great.
But yeah, the original plan was just to try and kite Rhino around. But do we just score from here, or how do we go about doing that?
I don't know.
I think you just leave the score as is, and that's how you just lock it in like this. Is reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't matter too much, right? Because the format of the event, but
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, that was a pretty position-heavy game, guys. Raine, what are your thoughts on your deployment, and are there any key activations that were on the top of your mind?
No, there's nothing on my mind. The only thing that I regret is moving Rhino in a position to be rocks back, range 3. Everything was going according to plan to start. I would have preferred if he didn't have an odd number extract. That's like the only reason why anything is happening, because he has that extract lead. And then after that, it was just he just kept destroying me with 4 dice.
The 4 dicers, man.
Yeah, that was we saw that too. We saw that that Rhino play early on with Doctor Strange doing nothing else basically was really limited what Rhino could do. And Nova, you're setting up that mission objective like defenses really well. It made Rhino's life pretty hard there. What are your thoughts on bringing Mysterio to a D shape? Because when I first saw your team, I was very unsure of that decision. So what are your thoughts on bringing Mysterio here?
Dude, I absolutely love this little fishbowl. The thought process is, he's Kingpin. He's going to walk up here, count us 2. The best way I counter that is either, killing him or controlling him off the point. And Mysterio's got a lot of control. And if I was to try and murder him, I brought Grand Illusion to hopefully better my odds. But if I just need someone to sit there and help control 1 point, then he's my guy.
Right.
And the Grand Illusion was tremendous. It was a fantastic play. It was a great play by Mysterio in general all throughout the rounds. But yeah, the Grand Illusion was huge. Rhino could have had the opportunity there to start popping off, but it was not possible.
Mm-hmm.
Raine, you brought the Shadowlands Daredevil here. Was that because of the grunts being able to set off the sinister traps and basically remove that card from being a significant factor in the match?
Yeah, so it's that reason, and also 90% of Green Goblin's deployments can't reach Shadowlands because of his stealth, unless he deploys in a straight line, which I'm still fine with because I count blanks. But yeah, those are the 2 reasons.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on that? I think early on, I think you put him in a position where he couldn't rotate as quickly as he needed to. Are you what were your thoughts on the deployment and where you put the Shadowlands? Is there what do you think about that?
Well, I put him safely, just so he didn't get an attack off, and I think I would. I don't know. I really don't know. Every attack on the left side of the board was 4 dice, 4 hits, 5 dice, 5 hits, 4 dice, 4 hits. So if I put Shadowlands in position for him to take this point early on, and Green Goblin gets that 1 attack, I don't know if Shadowlands even survives the 1 attack. So I don't think I don't know if there was a right call, to be honest.
Yeah, that was he was in a tough position, right? Because if he leaves the point, Doctor Strange would just send him out send him on his day, right? So he was in an uncomfortable spot to impact, especially when Nova rotated to his right side of the board so immediately. He put all his characters down on that right side.
Yeah, I think the 2 things I'll look at to try and improve if I ever play this again would be Maybe Rhino would go after Strange and Goblin. Maybe. I mean, that sounds horrifying, which is why I didn't do it. But the other is like I can't use any of my cards. Like I can't. I'm not mission objectiving because we're all too spread out. Like I can't even patch up. It's pretty not great.
Yeah.
I have almost all my cards left.
Mark, do you have any questions for the players?
No questions. I think it's when you see Strange on the board. I've learned from this game that I would need to commit my Kingpin to a flank so that he's not in the nether regions. He'd have the opportunity for a double small move, at least to get on one of the Ds and start throwing around. Because a neutered Kingpin there was a big deal. A Kingpin that was live and in the game starts displacing over there, breaks up the mission objective bubble, and things could have happened. But tough for the big man.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks, guys, for letting me stream. Congrats to HyperNova for making the top cut for this season, and Raine is still in it. If you win your next game, you'll be in, so good luck there. Thanks for
Appreciate
letting
it,
me
man.
stream, and have a good night, guys.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for streaming.
Thank you, sir.